There was a time when humanity had not yet discovered the glow of electricity. Cities rested beneath trembling flames, rivers moved with the slowness of ancient memory, and the sky remained something to admire, not to confront. In that far-off era, a man was born who chose to see farther than anyone before him, a man who refused to be content with what lay before his eyes. He sketched the idea of flight when imagining it felt forbidden. He envisioned self-moving vehicles at a time when metal served only the simplest purposes. He sought to comprehend everything around him: water and flesh, air and motion, existence itself. His name was Leonardo da Vinci. Yet the word genius barely captures who he was. Leonardo possessed a mind able to move across centuries, capable of glimpsing tomorrow while living in a world unaware of it. He was an artist, an inventor, a scientist, a philosopher, but above all, a man driven by endless curiosity. Leonardo was born in 1452, among the rolling Tuscan hills of Vinci, a small village wrapped in greenery. The child of a notary and a peasant woman, born outside the privileges of nobility, he grew up on the margins of society. And perhaps that very distance, that sense of not quite belonging, is what urged his gaze upward. From an early age, he watched everything: birds cutting through the air, water twisting into spirals, shadows shifting across walls at dusk. He drew tirelessly, with the calm patience of someone who understands that knowledge is not a race, but a journey of revelation. For Leonardo, learning was an expression of love. He did not study nature to dominate it, but to converse with it. When he arrived in Florence, he entered a city alive with art and ideas. Inside the workshops, surrounded by the scent of paint and inspiration, Leonardo absorbed more than technique. Among canvases and tools, he learned how to think beyond limits. He realized that a brushstroke could carry an invention, that a drawing might one day become a machine. From that point forward, his life turned into a race against time. Leonardo did not chase fame, he pursued truth. And to uncover it, he knew he would have to explore places no one had ever dared to look. He never slowed his pace. Every idea he had was a beginning, never an endpoint. In his notebooks, crowded with drawings and reflections, he left behind thousands of concepts, insights, and unanswered questions. He wrote not for an audience, but to continue questioning himself. He often used mirror writing, readable only in reflection, as though his thoughts themselves required contemplation before revealing meaning. He observed the world with the accuracy of an engineer and the soul of a poet. When Leonardo studied a bird in flight, he saw more than wings against the sky. He perceived the hidden mathematics of motion, the unseen forces that held everything in harmony. He wanted to unlock nature's secret language. From that fixation emerged ideas the world would only grasp centuries later. He designed machines that appeared to belong to another age. On the aging pages of his manuscripts, these ideas took shape as visions far beyond the understanding of the 15th century. One of them was a flying machine, a massive spiral of linen intended to lift itself into the air. In essence, it was the forerunner of the modern helicopter. Leonardo believed the air was an invisible ocean, and that a rotating spiral could rise within it. The concept was impossible for his time, yet strikingly close to reality. He also conceived an armored vehicle, a wooden and metal dome lined with cannons, powered by internal gears. It resembled a mechanical beast, foretelling modern armored warfare 400 years in advance. To Leonardo, it was not a tool of destruction, but a test of intelligence, a way to explore how human strength could be multiplied through design. Once again, his thoughts returned to flight. He spent years analyzing the movement of wings, creating intricate systems of levers and pulleys. He imagined himself suspended in the sky, carried only by air and the longing for freedom. He once wrote, "Once you have known flight, you will walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward, for there you have been, and there you will long to return." It was not merely a plan, it was a yearning of the spirit. Leonardo also designed a self-propelled vehicle, powered by springs and gears. Today, many recognize it as the earliest concept of an automobile. No fuel, no engine, only mechanics, imagination, and precise reasoning. And there was more. Machines to lift water, bridges that could be moved and deployed, diving suits made from leather and glass, equipped with valves for breathing beneath the surface. The earliest vision of a submarine. Leonardo understood that the human mind could travel anywhere, even where the body had not yet learned to follow. Each invention marked a step into what seemed impossible. Leonardo did not draw merely to construct machines, but to uncover the principles by which nature itself was built. In a seed, a feather, a breaking wave, he searched for a universal rule and translated it into lines on a page. Between sketches and handwritten notes, he envisioned a humanity capable of pushing beyond its boundaries. Many of his designs were never realized, not because they were flawed, but because they belonged to a future far ahead of a world still shaped by medieval thinking. And his greatness extended well beyond invention alone. It lived in the way he looked at things. Leonardo noticed what others overlooked. When he painted a face, he searched for the presence behind the gaze, the inner life hidden beneath the surface. When he studied the human body, he saw more than muscles and bones. He recognized the quiet perfection woven into every living form. His anatomical research, carried out in secrecy through the dissection of corpses, was a revolution without witnesses. He rendered veins, organs, and tendons with a surgeon's accuracy and an artist's elegance. He wanted to penetrate the mystery of life itself, believing that each drawn line might bring him closer to its truth. And then there were his masterpieces. The Gioconda, with a smile balanced delicately between mystery and revelation. The Last Supper, freezing the instant when the human spirit fractures between devotion and betrayal. In every painting and every sketch, Leonardo searched for what could not be easily seen, the connection between the visible world and the unseen one. In Milan, serving Ludovico il Moro, he designed weapons of war and studied musical instruments. On the same day, he could move from engineering a cannon to composing a melody for the lute. His mind seemed like a whirlpool of ideas, never at rest. Yet behind that brilliance, there was a profound solitude. Leonardo was surrounded by admiration, but truly understood by very few. He once wrote, "I have offended God and humanity because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Words that unsettle us, because even the greatest minds can feel incomplete. In the final years of his life, Leonardo moved to France, welcomed at the court of King Francis I. His body had aged, but his intellect had not. He wandered through the gardens of the Château of Amboise, watching birds in flight just as he had done in childhood. He had lived a lifetime filled with discoveries and visions. The same inner fire still burned, the need to understand the reason behind all things. He continued to draw, to make notes on water in motion, on light, on flight, as though he hoped to grasp the world's last secret before departing it. He no longer pursued recognition, only the quiet fulfillment of understanding. Perhaps in those silent days, he finally understood what it meant to be a genius, when curiosity and life become inseparable. Leonardo da Vinci died in 1519 in the arms of the king who called him a friend. He was 67 years old. He left behind an extraordinary legacy, thousands of drawings, studies, artworks, and ideas that still speak to us. But more than that, he left a question. What might we achieve if we truly learned to see the world for ourselves? Leonardo was not only a painter or an inventor, he was a bridge between who we were and who we might still become. A man who dreamed of flight when the sky felt untouchable, who chased perfection knowing it could never be reached, yet pursued it all the same. Today, we live in the future he once imagined. We fly, we build, we explore, and yet we often lack his sense of wonder. Leonardo reminds us that true greatness is not found in knowing everything, but in never stopping to ask questions. Every time we look at the sky and imagine going beyond it, every time we create something new, every time we seek to understand the mystery around us, that dream continues. It does not live only in his paintings or his notebooks. It lives within us. Because as long as there are people who dare to dream, Leonardo da Vinci will never truly be gone.